Hey guys, my name is Jonathan Reich. I'm a licensed CPA in the state of Louisiana, and today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about a couple of different bill platform payment providers. That's kind of hard to say if you've never said it before. So, what is a bill payment platform provider? And basically, what one of those platforms is it's a software that helps small businesses manage their invoices and bills. And that sounds kind of silly if you think, hey, I've got QuickBooks. What do I need help paying my bills for? Well, let's say you have a lot of bills, like an overwhelming amount of bills. Think about what you have to pay to keep your household up and running. You got your grocery bill, your gas bill, your electric bill, your mortgage, your lease, your rent, whatever, insurance, stuff like that. You've got a handful of 10, 12 bills that you probably have to pay a month. And like, I leave all my stuff on auto pay, but a lot of times businesses can't do that, especially small businesses who are really in need of that cash to get their employees paid. Maybe they need to be late on a couple of bills in order to effectively manage their cash, or maybe they are doing so well, they're growing, they have tons of bills coming in the door, inventory, they're upgrading their warehouse, so they need an expanded lease space. Um, they have to pay for new stock, employees, benefits. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Like businesses have a lot to pay for, things that you and I couldn't even typically consider. And so a bill payment platform provider typically steps in to help bridge that void between their accounting ERP and what the business needs to pay. And they do that by basically automating away a lot of the things that would take someone time to do within QuickBooks. So that is what a bill pay platform provider is. I'm going to stop saying that. And the two that we're going to be talking about today are Melio and Airbase. Airbase and Melio each have their respective space in this kind of Venn diagram of what a good platform provides, but they each fill their own niche. So Melio, I've been recommending to my small business clients and even some mid-sized business clients because it has a lot of perks that come with it. Whenever you are onboarded into Melio, you are first charged a very reasonable cost. So there are different platforms. They're transparent with their pricing. I kind of liken it to what you'll have to pay to have like a Xero or QuickBooks subscription. It's going to be anywhere from 25 to 80 bucks a month, depending on your needs. Although Melio does have a premium option that you can just kind of take it for a spin and see if it makes sense for you, or if you just want to keep writing checks out of QuickBooks. But it does have that option. So I like that they're transparent with pricing. But what exactly does paying this random company that you're just now hearing about 25, 55 bucks a month give you? And it gives you the options to pay via ACH. It gives you the options to have them mail a check on your behalf to your vendors. It gives you the option to pay bills with a credit card, even if that vendor doesn't allow you to pay them by credit card. It allows for international wire transfers. It allows for domestic wire transfers. Those international wire transfers are going to have an advantageous rate. It allows for automatic invoice processing. You can snap a picture of it on your phone, or you can scan it via your scanner to your computer and then upload it. So there's a lot that comes with it, and you can see here it also automatically sets up a sync to your accounting ERP, typically QuickBooks or Xero, and then pushes all that data. So you get a lot for what you're paying for. But how exactly does a bill pay platform provider work? Gosh, I've got to stop saying that. It's so long. It works by basically uploading your document, having Melio read it via OCR. It's going to identify who the bill is from, the amount, the date, when it's due, what you spent your money on. It's going to give it an associated GL account. It's going to let you schedule the payment, pick the account or payment method, whether it be a bank transfer, wire, credit card, whatever have you. And then it's going to pay it. And on the day it pays, it's going to push that over to your accounting ERP, and it's going to save you a bunch of time. Imagine if you had to go into QuickBooks, load everything up, book the expense, print the check, stuff the check, and then send it on its way. I know a lot of small business owners that do that, but they're only paying a handful of bills per week. Melio will take a lot of that off your hands. And so that's why for businesses who have a ton of bills from a ton of different vendors, I always try and push them to a payment platform provider because It saves them time, saves them money, saves them headache. And that is where Melio shines. So I have found that Melio is best for small businesses. Um, Typically, people who need some simplified reporting that can still be pretty comprehensive, that's where it's going to thrive. People who are watching what they're spending, it's basically made for small business, which is why I recommend it. It's a very good platform and it just works. So let's talk a little bit more about the other guy today, and that is Airbase. Airbase, in my opinion, is for larger businesses, similar to Scambly, perhaps. People who have complex accounting needs, who have a team of accountants working for them, maybe not just a bookkeeper and the business owner, but a team. Maybe you have offsite personnel at like a manufacturing facility who's using purchase orders to send to vendors, and then the vendors are sending it to an accounts payable processing center somewhere else. And so now there's a purchase order linking what the people at the mill ordered, what AP has information to, and what's being built. That's called a 2 or 3-way match. Airbase is going to excel using that. But as you can see, just based off that very simple scenario that I presented, it can be complicated. And that's why I try and push folks away from it unless you really are a mid-sized business and you also don't mind shelling out the cash for access to a service such as Airbase. So kind of in that vein, Airbase is going to be best for businesses who have like 100 employees or more, typically maybe up to a couple thousand. It's very feature rich, but it still costs quite a bit. But it does cover the entire accounting cycle from sending out the purchase order to receiving the goods and paying for said goods. So just something to think about. It is pretty robust. So let's talk about what it costs, because I just covered this in another video, but this right here is a pet peeve of mine. I like transparent pricing. I want to know that whether my business is being charged the same as a similar business down the road, or if I'm getting taken for a ride, basically. And so something that really kind of irritates me is whenever I need to see what a service costs because my business, my clients need it, and I have to sit through a seminar and see everything that you have to offer and then talk to a salesperson and go through that whole rigmarole. It's very frustrating. And so typically what I tell people, whenever you see a business asking for you to reach out to them to see what it costs, it probably costs more than you want to pay for it. And so something like Airbase, I would expect to start at around $500 to $600, maybe up to $1,000, which is a perfectly acceptable value if you're pushing tens and tens of thousands of invoices a year. But if you're only paying a handful of providers, stick with something simple. Stick with QuickBooks Bill Pay. Stick with your accounting ERP, or stick with Melio. You don't need to waste money with this super feature-rich, maybe potentially confusing software unless your business needs it. And so that's something to consider. But let's say, okay, yeah, I do need Airbase. I'm a growing business, and I really am interested in seeing and sitting through the seminar. What you'll find is the core features of Airbase are going to be from guided procurement when that purchase order is received, and then whenever your accounts payable department receives that invoice and loads it into Airbase, or the vendor actually goes onto your client portal and uploads their invoice there. So you don't have to touch it. It's hands-free. And then it can automatically be read via OCR and then automatically booked. Like sometimes you don't even have to touch the invoice. If it's a well-labeled, well-laid-out invoice, the system can pretty much read everything and it's all automated. You might just have to touch it one time to approve it. Airbase also offers expense management for corporate cards, things like that. If you are getting into something a little bit more complex, there are other platforms out there that you may find to be a bit cheaper, like Bill.com, for instance. But it does have a very feature-rich suite of options. It connects to a ton of accounting ERPs, anything from NetSuite to something as simple as QuickBooks. But a lot of it is overwhelming for most of the clients that I work with. And so I don't typically steer my clients to Airbase. It just doesn't make sense for them to spend that much time, that much money learning a software when you can have something as simple as Melio that is still relatively feature rich, relatively straightforward, has a ton of different ways to pay, has transparent pricing. It just doesn't make sense to push them over to this larger platform unless they really are a large and growing business. And so now that you kind of heard my spiel on what's going to be best for my different clients, I hope that you can take that information and pick what's best for your business. Thanks for watching.